and Texas Tech. The Red Raiders up 13-0 in this early top 10 matchup in the Big 12. The third quarter just kicking off. Texas Tech started with the ball, went 3 and out, and punted back to the Cougs. But I want to rewind to what happened at the end of the first half, and that is Joey McGuire decided to go for it on 4th down. It was unsuccessful, no points. There are some people at this desk who feel some type of way about that decision, and yeah, you're watching it right now. Damian, what do we think of that decision to go for it?
So in real time, I love the decision. Listen, you're at home, you're playing in front of your fans, you haven't gotten enough done offensively, especially with your quarterback, Baron Morton, who hasn't played that great in the first half. This was an opportunity to let his players put their stamp on the game. Their head coach trusted them. They went out, they didn't execute the play, then they get the ball to start the second half, and then they go 3 and out. So now I do not like the decision because your players did not take the accountability.
You can't go back and say, I can't. Hold on. You're a coach.
Yeah, okay, hold on. What did I just say? I said when in real time, when they made the decision,
So you admit you were wrong. So you just should have kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We just argued for 20 minutes.
Okay, all right. They should have kicked the field goal because they didn't convert on 4th down, and because they went 3 and out the first time they get the ball. So
wait a second.
Hindsight is absolutely 20/20.
Hey, Emily, if they would have scored a touchdown, I think they should have gone for it. Am I allowed to say that?
No. What did you think in the moment?
I thought they should have kicked the field goal all day long. They had all the momentum in the first half. Your quarterback, Baron Morton, has been banged up. He's limping around. He got his head banged a couple times, been sacked 4 times in the game. Your defense is playing great. Our offense isn't doing that much. Kick the field goal, get the points, take a little bit of momentum into halftime. Instead, we saw the reaction of Kalani Sitake. They don't have any points, but they feel like they scored by getting a stop there. So we'll see if it translates into momentum out of the half for BYU. But I thought that was a no-brainer.
Well, guess what? It hasn't, because it's 4th and 10 for BYU right now. They're about to give the ball back to Texas Tech.
So all the
conversation about all this momentum that BYU is going to get after halftime because they didn't kick the field goal and they didn't get no points. BYU's going to come out with all the momentum. Well, how much momentum? You just said you were wrong. I was, but we're having a conversation about momentum right now. Does BYU have momentum? Yes or no?
They still do, in my opinion.
How? It's 4th and 10. They're giving the ball back to Texas Tech.
They're only down 2 possessions. Going up 16 in a game like this.
Yeah, points are.
They would have been down 2 possessions.
A field goal feels like 7 points.
No, it don't.
Man.
No, it does not.
When it's a defensive-minded game, trust me, I've been a part of so many Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Back in my day, touchdowns didn't happen. When you kick field goals, they feel like a touchdown because it's hard to score. And to Danny's point, Baron Morton, his rhythm has been off. You talked about giving the offense an opportunity to put their stamp on the half. Giving them that voters' confidence. That's what you said. Something to that nature, right?
Yeah, because I've had coaches that have done that.
You had a whole half to show us what you can do. Yeah. And you didn't do anything. And that's okay. So, Coach, let's do this. Let's take the points. Let's get back in the locker room, make some adjustments, but utilize those 3 points to be able to give us a sense of cushion. Because Bear Bachmeier, honestly, he hasn't done a lot, but it feels like I have more faith in him than Baron Morton. Because he's healthier and he seems to have more of a rhythm with his offense.
And it's because of the momentum that BYU has right now.
I mean, anytime you get a four down stop, that's momentum for a defense. Anytime you get a 4 down stop and you didn't allow any points, but that's a momentum opportunity.
As a defense, if you create a turnover and then you don't maximize that opportunity. Not only did they get a turnover, they forced Texas Tech to a 3 and out, getting the ball out of halftime. They've done nothing with it. What momentum do they have?
But the thing is, now we don't have to press to try to create a play. Right, we're still down 13 points. If we gave up that 3 points, now we got to press.
Because you're still down 2 scores.
But the name of the game in football, Damien, is to score more points. You never leave points on the scoreboard. Now, granted, it's still a lot of football left to be played. I'm just speaking from my side as a defender.
Yeah.
Emily, anytime we're in an opportunity and I have an offense that's willing to go for it instead of taking the for sure 3 points, I want you to go for it because I feel like we can stop you.
And headed into the locker room, Holly Rowe asked Joey Maguire about the decision, and something that he immediately mentioned was, I have a lot of faith in our defense right now. And it's already coming out in the second half. So
You already said
I'm
you have
curious.
faith in the defense, not the offense.
Yeah, well, you can read between the lines if you want to. I'm curious what Vegas had to say about this, if there's any line movement, that sort of thing. So let's head over to Mikey and Mackenzie to see what maybe a live bet for this game is right now.
Quickly, though.
Just put this phone down, and you want to get this in. BYU team total 6.5 points.
Come on.
6.5? We're looking for one, Tutty.
6.
In. We both responsibly just hammered the over 6.5, and I would get in on this while you can because it's pretty juiced, and I think it's going to go back to 7.5 sometime soon.
And in case they were wondering, the fan's perspective of the rocks I have in my brain as a fan, I go for it on 4th down right there every time.
In case you were wondering,
Every time.
our thoughts on that.
High level.
I love it. I was wondering. Thank you both so much for that. Of course, we are still getting you ready to go for the big-time game on CBS. It's Oregon at Iowa. First time the Ducks have been to Kinnick Stadium since the late 80s, and Iowa will be bringing all the home field advantage they can, including some disgusting November Iowa weather. Maybe wind, some rain, some snow. We have Chris Hassel with the umbrella. Chris, give us your latest weather report right now.
I'm getting made fun of by all my former friends and coworkers here in Iowa for holding this umbrella. So let's get rid of it.
There we go.
And let's get real. This is Hawkeye football. We're ready for this, baby. I will say, impressed with the Oregon players. They've actually been out here a lot sooner and a lot longer than the Iowa players. They got off the bus, and about 20 of them came directly onto the field about 30, 40 minutes ago. I've only seen a couple Iowa players come out and come into the elements here. So I don't know if that's some sort of mindset. I know that Emily,
they're scared.
Emily, hey, she remembers when the Tennessee players came out shirtless ahead of that Ohio State playoff game. Didn't work out too well for them, did it?
Thank you so much for that, Chris. So it seems like, based on the weather, it's not going to be the best elements for throwing the football, especially more challenging now for the Ducks, as they're going to be without their wide receiver, Decorian Moore. How do you anticipate that affecting what they're able to do on offense today?
Well, it seems like Dan Lanning at least knew that he was going to be without some of these key offensive players for days leading up to this game. So I would imagine that he's already come up with a game plan that was going to deal with their injuries. I don't think this is something that was just sprung on them in the last several hours like it was sprung on much of the country. They're definitely prepared, but we could see, as Gary Danielson said earlier this week, this game being more on the ground, in the trenches. But if there's one team that can win a game without passing the football, it's the Iowa Hawkeyes in this stadium in November. In fact, Iowa has won 21 of their last 23 November games dating back pre-COVID. This is when they play their best football in these kinds of conditions.
Thank goodness we got rid of the umbrella. I don't know, you were holding it kind of like Mary Poppins. It was very high up there, so I'm glad it's gone. I don't know. I don't necessarily care about the rain or the snow. I'm more curious about the wind, because I think that could potentially play the biggest factor in the passing game. I'm trying to see the flags behind you. It doesn't look too bad.
I don't see his hair blowing in the wind.
The hair is perfect, but there's a lot of product in there. There's a lot of product. What is the wind like? Is it pretty calm right now?
No wind. No wind whatsoever, which is great. And that's actually one of the things Kirk Ferentz mentioned to Jenny Dell in her pregame interview with him off the bus. He was looking up at the flags and he was saying exactly what you did. As long as it's not windy, and right now there is no wind whatsoever, it's going to be okay. The problem is the forecast continues to deteriorate throughout the afternoon. Wind should ramp up, and there are still some good chances for snow in the second half of this game.
Whew, snow. I love to hear that. A beautiful white.
Weather.
Yeah. So Chris, obviously the weather is going to be a factor in this game, but I'm curious, we have some ACC and SEC representation here at the desk. So educate us a little bit. What's the home field advantage like at Kinnick Stadium? Because this is a place that is known for a very sweet tradition in the Wave, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot of kindness coming from Kinnick.
Yeah, and CBS is going to be showing part of that wave after the first quarter today, and Oregon's going to be happy to take part in that as well. But this is a very hostile environment, especially where I'm standing right now. This is the north end zone. This has been a reconstructed end zone over the last 6 or 7 years. Tore down the old one, built this one straight up in front of me. So when Oregon has the ball going left to right on your screen, if they're backed up in this end zone, this is where it is the loudest on the field and where teams have had a really difficult time communicating with each other, especially on offense. This is going to be one of the best crowds that Kinnick Stadium has seen in 15 years. I think this is, without a question, the biggest game Iowa has played since 2021 against Penn State. But outside of that, I don't know that there's any other game in the last 15 years that Iowa fans are more ready for than this one.
We know you are ready, Chris Hassel. Hope to check in with you in just a bit, of course, if weather permits. We appreciate you being here. Let's talk about Dakorien Moore. That was something that we mentioned at the beginning with him, but he's their leading wide receiver, so you anticipate there's got to be some sort of impact, but how will they be feeling that on offense, Danny?
I mean, he's their big play threat on the outside. He's a blazer. He's got track speed. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason they were real excited about him coming into the season, and he's been one of Dante Moore's favorite targets, and it is a nice target to have for a quarterback because you get him on a lot of either straight go routes or you get him on some underneath crossing routes where it's a pretty easy read for the quarterback. So I think this will put some more pressure on Dante Moore. And coming into the season, they lost Evan Stewart. Mm-hmm. So they already were kind of down to some younger players that maybe don't have as much of the pedigree as guys like Dakorien Moore and Evan Stewart. So it's just going to put more workload on the run game to me. Like that to me is what this game is going to be about. It's going to be physical and it's going to be a lot of running the football for both teams. We think of Iowa that way. I think today we might have to look at Oregon that way as well.
Go ahead.
No, you have.
And that's why losing a guy like Dakorien is so impactful because of the potential conditions. He's actually an extension of the running game. You can get him out in space, quick bubble screens, quick now passes, and allow him to utilize his athleticism to make the first defender miss and get some positive yards. So he's the best athlete they have at the wide receiver position, and not having him in this type of game, it will be felt more so than not because of the conditions. And like I said, he could be an extension. He has been an extension of the running game.
He has been. And without him being there, you have to focus on the running backs. Mm-hmm. And Noah Whittingham, who he's a guy, a lot of people might not know his name, but he is averaging 8.5 yards a carry. And when the conditions are going to be what we're expecting, whenever you're out your top playmaker in the passing game, how do you take all of the pressure off Dante Moore's shoulders? You run the football. Noah Whittingham, he's got the ability. He's a senior. He's seen a lot of football. He's played a lot of football. Now is one of those moments where even as a guy who hasn't made a lot of headlines, who doesn't have the most enormous stats, you grab Noah Whittingham and you say, we need your best today. We need you to carry this football team come hell or high water because, one, we've got to maintain possession of the football. We're not going to put it in harm's way by trying to throw it all over the field. We're going to turn and hand it to you. Your job is to keep two hands on it at all times, and let's just ride the wave. Give this defense, this Iowa defense that is so tough, the teeth of this defense is so tough. Just give them body blows. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, those 2 and 3 yard runs, if you do it right, then once the fourth quarter comes here, then you hit your home run, then you break the game open. So Noah Whittingham, he's going to have a big load on his shoulders, but I think he's up for the challenge.
You know what's interesting about this game? We're talking about the run games, and I think we all picture Iowa as that physical team that always runs the football. Mm-hmm. Currently, Oregon is the second best rushing offense in the Big Ten. Yeah. Iowa's fifth. Now, some of that is boosted by a game against Rutgers, because everybody remembers last time out was against Wisconsin for Oregon, and it was not their best offensive performance. The week before their bounce-back game from Indiana, they went to Rutgers and rushed for over 400 yards in the game, had 750 yards of total offense. So I want to remind people, like, Oregon is still a team that is capable of doing that to other teams in the Big Ten. Will that happen today? No, I don't think they'll have that much offensive success, but I do think they're still a pretty dangerous threat.
This is shaping up to be the most Big Ten game that we have seen in a long time, so we'll continue to break that down. I will add that per our Matt Zenitz, it's not expected to be be a long-term injury for Corian Moore, who suffered some sort of injury in practice.
Because there was a lot of rumors about what it could be.
A lot of rumors. Don't believe everything you read online. Hey, games happening right now.
Is that a Heisman throw? I think it was.
Potentially.
Heisman Mendoza, Emily.
Heisman Mendoza. We'll tell you how he's looked so far in Happy Valley. Stick with us here on HQ. Hi, Ron.
Can't count on accurate expiration dates.
No. That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount+.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
What? It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes. New season, now streaming. Exclusively on Paramount+.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, Crutch, Crutch.
Crutch, Crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Back here on College Football Pregame on CBS Sports HQ, you're taking a look at some live scores happening in college football right now. Georgia just scoring to go up 38-7 on the road at Mississippi State. BYU still waiting to get on the board, same as the Citadel. Apologies, Cougs, for comparing you to them. Ohio State up just 14-3. I say just because you think the #1 Buckeyes would be doing a little bit better against Purdue on the road. But we want to talk a little bit more about the #2 team in the nation. That is Indiana up 20-7 over Penn State. Danny, you're holding the football. We'll call it the talking football here.
Yeah.
What's Mendoza doing with football right now?
He's been efficient. He had the one big throw he came in here with. They're not putting up big numbers. So far, early in the game, I think it's interesting because Ohio State played Penn State last week, and it was close in the first half, and then Ohio State pulled away. I'll be curious to see if Indiana can do the same thing. Like, they've been in control of this game. You'd like to see a little bit more explosiveness. But Mendoza's been doing a pretty good job making plays with his legs, has a rushing touchdown, also been doing pretty efficient work through the air. So I think this will be a comfortable win for Indiana, but I do wonder if they're concerned with style points, especially considering they were #2, Ohio State was #1. How does it come into play?
You know what? When you talk about Indiana, we always highlight the quarterback because clearly he's in that Heisman conversation. And offensive players
would you like to talk
always
about,
get the glory. But thank you, Emily. Let's not forget about their defense. Their defense has really stood up today in a matchup where even though Mendoza has some pretty good numbers, to Danny's point, he's not giving us that Heisman-like production just yet. But guess what the defense has done? They've been lights out. When you look at Penn State, they forced 2 turnovers, 1 fumble, 1 interception. Penn State, as an offense, they have 119 yards of total offense, and they're averaging 1.5 yards per rush. When you look at the way Penn State moves and goes about their business, the running game is something they've been able to hang their hat on because they have some pros in the backfield. Well, those pros have been finding that it's difficult to run against the Hoosiers defensively, and that's why I really like Indiana in terms of their championship aspirations, because we know they have a high-power offense led by a great quarterback, but their defense can also do numbers, and they've done so far in 3 quarters of play.
We have another person right now currently making their case for Heisman.
Who's that?
Jacob Rodriguez just had an interception
Ooh.
for
I gave him a shout
Texas
out.
Tech.
Yep.
And guess what he did after? He did a little
He hit the
Heisman
Heisman
pose.
pose? Okay.
You mentioned the 7 forced fumbles.
Yeah. Number 1 in the nation, by the way.
And he is the best defensive player on a team that is in the mix for a potential playoff spot.
Yep.
Sometimes it's more about selling yourself and going out there and doing something like that. So
he did the pose.
He did
I
the
think,
pose.
I think we actually have the play here,
Good job.
so
Yeah.
we can show the play and
producing
the
by our producer,
subsequent
Noah.
pose here. Just reconfirm.
Oh gosh, Emily, oftentimes, the defenders, they're not talked about enough.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a guy who's been a turnover machine for Texas Tech the entire season. He's one of the best playmakers, not just on the defense.
Here comes.
I don't like that. Was that a Heisman?
He don't deserve to be in the conversation.
Danny, I don't think he was trying to do a Heisman pose.
I don't know. I think he might have just forgot the leg.
He's on a surfboard, maybe a surfboard pose, whatever.
I think he was pointing like it's our ball, so we're going.
Yeah, maybe with a little knee bend. You know what I mean? Whatever. We love it, Jacob.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Let me. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and this is just going back to the Indiana.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh, okay.
This is just going back to the Indiana conversation because, and this you can sit this one out, Mr. Football Man. I just want to ask B-Mac a question. That's all, because he's talking about how great this Indiana defense is, and he's talking about what they've limited Penn State to offensively, what yardage they have, what they have not done. Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen. Northwestern held Penn State to under 250 total yards.
Okay.
This offense isn't good. So, I mean, when we're having this conversation about, Mendoza, we're not all the way sold on that Heisman conversation, I just want to say I'm not all the way sold on this Indiana team right yet.
Okay.
Not yet anyway, because again, they're good in all phases. Quarterback, he's played well, not Heisman worthy yet. The defense is playing lights out, to your point, but it's against an offense and a team who has zero direction. They just fired their head coach. Before, when they had their quarterback, they were just as bad. Now they've got a backup, haven't been good. And when you look at Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, their production as a whole has regressed since last year before they played against Indiana. Now, all this to say, I just wanted to be a thorn in B-Mac's side. The Indiana team, they're really, really good.
Let me be a thorn in your side, because Indiana is 3rd in the nation in points allowed on defense.
There you go.
So it's not just Penn State. They've been doing
And guess what? I was ahead of them. I was ahead of them. We haven't talked about Iowa's defense until today.
Actually, Iowa is slightly behind them.
Ooh, there we go. Get him, Emily. Get him.
All right. Well, there's
Let me pull these knives out. Let me pull them out.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to educate the audience here, but you can take it with a grain of salt what they're able to do today.
And at least, to Damian's point, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you don't want to have these mishaps when you're playing a team you should dominate and you don't.
Yeah.
And you make it a 4-quarter ball game. So good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat in a nice fashion. And that's what we're seeing so far in the half, 3 quarters of play from Indiana. So you got to like it.
Yeah, game control. There is a team, though, that is dominating right now, Danny.
We have a great field goal kicking contest taking place in Lubbock because they had to kick another field goal. Their offense, BYU's defense is playing their hearts out and playing well enough to win. Their offense.
Well, now imagine this, though. Imagine the head coach from Texas Tech saying, okay, you know what? Our defense is going to keep them to 0 points. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. Just food for thought. I'm not saying I'm right, wrong, or it's just food for thought.
You already said you were wrong.
Just food for thought. I'm not saying anything now. I'm just saying. Well, I said I was right.
right. You said he said he was wrong, didn't he?
Okay.
He did.
Yes. We started off the show with some honesty hour, which I very much appreciate. But I want to get to this Georgia score. Let's go to Georgia and Mississippi State, because there were a lot of people this week that were circling this game as a potential upset, because Mississippi State has been playing really close. Danny was not one of those people, apparently. Why is that? Why do you think this Georgia team is for real? Because they've been messing around with opponents too.
I don't know if it was so much as Georgia's for real. I just thought Mississippi State would struggle to slow down Georgia. And Mississippi State does not do a great job protecting their quarterback. And this, I thought, was an opportunity for Georgia's defense, who has been struggling all season long, to finally get a performance where they could step up and get some stops. And that's surely what we've gotten so far. Even if Mississippi State scores, it's going to be kind of garbage time touchdowns here. So Georgia is in complete control of this game. A little bit close at halftime, but I was texting the cover 3 guys, and they're like, man, Georgia should be up 35 points already. And then sure enough, right out of halftime. That's where Georgia's been great. The third quarter, I believe I got Chip had a Georgia -3 third quarter bet, which is already cashed because they're blowing them out. They are a great halftime adjustment team. They come out firing, and they did it again.
Is it time to get back on the Georgia band? Not in terms of just Georgia team. They're the team of old. They're going to win the national championship. But earlier, we had a segment where we talked about, is it Texas A&M, Alabama, Ohio State, or the field? Is it time to start adding Georgia back into that conversation? Because we buried, I don't want to speak French, a lot of people buried Georgia for losing one game. And everybody thought that this team, they're not the same Kirby Smart team. They can't get pressure on the quarterback with 5 guys. Gunnar Stockton, is he the guy? Is he not? They're one of the best teams in the country in terms of how they've adjusted throughout the season. I know you just talked about halftime adjustments. So let's talk about mid-season adjustments. Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo, this Georgia team, they've done everything that they need to do week by week to win the games that are in front of them. And they're clearly a better football team than where we saw them at the beginning of the year.
The problem is that Georgia has been causing their fan base heart attacks on a week in, week out basis. They've won 4 games in which they've either trailed or been tied at halftime. So you mentioned those second half adjustments, Danny, but I know Bulldogs fans for Georgia, at least I need to be specific here, would like to see it a little bit earlier.
Yes, and here's what I would not, I hear what you're saying. I'm not going to buy into it because of a game against Mississippi State. Next week against Texas, that's their opportunity. Like, if they handle them, and I think they will, then I think it's start time to say, all right. And then they have Georgia Tech in the finale. Like, I think that's another good test for that defense. But I don't know about shutting, blowing out a Mississippi State team that a lot of SEC teams have struggled with says more about the other teams that have struggled with Mississippi State than it does about Georgia.
This is a get-right moment for Georgia, and I think Georgia could be one of the more feared teams in the playoffs if their defense start to play to the level they're playing at right now. Because this is a flip-flop scenario for Georgia. Usually, it's been their defense that has been lights out, and the offense has been a bit generic at times. Now their offense can score with the best of them. When you look at Gunnar Stockton and the way they're running the football, it's been the defense. The defense has been the Achilles heel, to say the least, in terms of not living up to the expectations. What happens if they start to play more like they're doing today, the rest of the way? Because Gunnar Stockton is not slowing down.
Nope.
I believe in Gunnar Stockton. I think he can play football. He can throw it around the yard. He has the athleticism to be a +1 in the running game. Frazier is one of the speedier running backs in the SEC, and he runs with a good lean. They have great coaching. We talked about they're the best second-half team in college football in terms of what they've done thus far. But what happens if their defense start to play more like they're doing today? They have a championship pedigree. So to your point about overlooking and not talking about Georgia, I think it's deserving because of how they've been winning ball games. But if they happen to find their get-right mojo and start cooking and wheeling and dealing, you got to put some respect on the Bulldogs' name.
Like you said, we got to circle that game against Texas. You need to prove it to us, not against a team that you should win, but a team
you got to prove
will
it to Danny Cannell.
Yes, which is more important than the nation. We got to make sure that Danny Cannell agrees that you are for real. Elsewhere, we're keeping an eye on what's happening between Colorado and West Virginia because it's Julian Lewis's debut, his first career start. Guys, he has 2 touchdown passes so far. The youngin', I mentioned on our morning show that he had just turned 18 like a month ago, and now he has to play in Morgantown. Danny, that's not an easy spot for a true freshman to start his first game, and he seems to be doing all right.
Especially, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, weren't they down 19-0?
They were.
It's 19-16 now, so they're coming back.
Yeah, and I think that's it does make me wonder why he hadn't played earlier in the season potentially, but obviously that's up to Colorado and their staff to decide. He's been given this opportunity. It did feel like this was Deion Sanders saying, man, this season is done. let me start looking to the future. But I wonder what was going on with the young quarterback. If he was thinking about potentially, well, man, this season is falling apart. Do I potentially go somewhere else? Yeah. So I think this is big for a lot of different reasons. One, you want to keep the 5-star freshman. The other is Deion himself was starting to catch some heat from his own fan base. And then you were a heavy underdog, or about a touchdown underdog, on the road against West Virginia, one of the worst teams in the Big 12. I think this game is big for Colorado for a lot of reasons.
Well, it is, and on top of that fact, like, they're not going to go to the college football playoffs, but they're still looking to be bowl eligible. Now, they have to win out, including this game today, but I think that that's a part of the process also whenever you get Juju Lewis in the game. The season's not over. I mean, you still have games to play. You still have a bowl game to go and try to get to and try to win, so put your best player out there, especially at the quarterback position. Again, keep him on the roster. Don't lose him to the transfer portal. Get yourself bowl eligible. Finish out the season on a strong note.
Yeah, we've seen it work for other teams. Pitt is one that comes to mind, is switching their quarterback to Mason Heinschel.
Undefeated
since they made that switch. So maybe this is the start of the Julian Lewis run right here. We'll see. I'm going to go over to Mackenzie and Mikey. They're helping us make some money while these games are happening right now. What is that in my ear? What are we doing, guys?
We're chefing right now. I'm chefing on the FanDuel on the laptop. And let me tell you one thing, if you like BYU over at 6.5,
you're gonna love it at 5.5. And that's why you get back in.
All we need is one touchdown.
That's why you get back in. You go, you know what? I liked it at 6.5. I'm going to love it at 5.5.
Exactly. So we're back in on BYU. And then we said, you know what we didn't do this morning? We didn't bet on the ponies.
Yeah.
And now the ponies are up 31-6 on BC.
31-6.
And I'm starting to think that team total can go upwards of 38.5. Team total over 38.5. Do you?
How about Penn State? One more touchdown against Indiana.
Bang.
Just one more touchdown.
That team total set at 15.5. We're looking for a touchdown there.
Yeah, shop around.
I'm in on BYU with you guys.
Let's go.
One touchdown. That's all we need.
You're going to love it at 3.5 in about 5 minutes.
Or 2 field goals.
While they were saying that, I was watching that game live. Almost another interception. So we'll see. Just one touchdown. It's raining out in Iowa. Can they make the college football playoff? I'll ask that question next.
You almost dropped that ball.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount+.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
These 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount+.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's skills.
Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Welcome back into college football pregame on CBS Sports HQ. Some live top 25 scores for you. Indiana up 20-10 in Happy Valley. Ole Miss having a lovely afternoon against the Citadel, up 35-0. Ohio State finally putting a few more points on the board.
Yeah, they were down 3-0, right?
Leading Purdue. They were down 3-0 at some point. Someone you're not going to see on that scoreboard, though, James Madison at Marshall. The reason that we're talking about this is there's some college football playoff implications for the Dukes, not for the Thundering Herd, or apparently not. I already heard the buzzer going off.
Yeah, that's so uncalled for.
Right now, James Madison is up 28-20 at Marshall. The reason that they are still in the college football playoff is they're just waiting for the American Conference to cannibalize itself and provide a little sneaky opportunity. So for that, we're going to ask the question, who is in, who's out? And you're probably already hearing some strange noises coming across your television screen right now. That is because we have buzzers. So you're going to whack the buzzer if you think that this team is out in the 12-team college football playoff. Let's start with the aforementioned Dukes. In or out? So everybody's saying they're out.
Here's the thing, though. They are hoping you see carnage in the American.
That's basically all they're rooting for,
That's
right?
all they're rooting for. But here's my issue with JMU. First of all, the fact that they're in a dogfight today is also an issue.
That's right.
But they only played one Power 4 team, Louisville, which they lost by 2 touchdowns. At least some of the American teams have wins over Arkansas or a Duke or a Florida. In the case of so they've got some good wins, and they have a schedule which has played multiple Power 4s. That's my issue with the Dukes.
And I can hear James Madison fans saying now, to your point, that Louisville loss, remember, they scored a touchdown towards the end of the game. I think it was a turnover, something that led to an extra point, gave them some style.
Yeah.
But it was a close ball game for 4 quarters, to say the least, when James Madison played against Louisville.
So you want moral victories?
I mean, that's what college football. That's what they do in college football. It's just a good loss. I hate hearing that, but that's what a lot of people do.
Honestly, I'm pushing the buzzer on that. I'm pushing.
I don't do that. I don't say that. That's what
hell no. No.
You're just giving a little bit of context. That's all right. Another G5 team. We had Alex Golish on earlier. USF in or out?
I think they're in.
Anything? No? Okay.
In.
Damien?
I think they're in.
Rubbing that. The genie's going to come out.
I think they're in. And this is a good football team. We just listened to Coach Golish talk. The way that he's built this program, the wins that they've amassed, the talent that they have, the quarterback that they have, he's doing it on the ground, throwing the ball all over the yard. I like this USF team. I think they're in.
And, this is, I'll give you the, because I don't like a group of 5 team getting in. But they do have a really good win over Boise State, a game that they dominated. They had a win over Florida in Gainesville. That's a really good win. And then just don't ask me about Miami. Because that's a team they're probably going to get in front of, but they won't be ranked ahead of them because they're guaranteed a spot. But I do think they are the best team in the American that's going to win the American, therefore they're going to get in.
All right. How about current 7-2 Texas? They're ranked 11th in the CFP rankings. Out.
They got to play Georgia in Athens.
You holding it?
And they have Texas A&M.
Yeah, I don't see them going undefeated in that stretch. That's why I have them
But are they 9-3? That's what our girl Ken's would be pounding the table. I still think a 9-3 Texas could get in.
Especially when you look at how good Georgia is playing now.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to go to Athens to win that ball game. I don't think they can survive having 3 losses and get into the playoffs.
But they have the close loss to Ohio State.
I think
I'm with you.
A 3-loss Texas team is in.
Oh, boy.
I'm with Mackenzie Brooks.
Okay.
I think especially if they have to split these last 2 games. They have to in order to be 9-3.
I don't know. And 8-4.
Now listen. At 8-4, I would do this. But at 9-3, and you beat a Texas A&M, an undefeated Texas A&M, or a 1-loss Georgia team, Texas is in.
I actually think their best case is to lose close to Georgia
and beat
an undefeated A&M.
And that
and it's
absolutely can
recency
happen.
bias. They see it right there. They can climb, make a big jump in the rankings.
Also, to your point, if they lose to Georgia next week, how far will they fall?
It depends on the score of that game.
Because you saw how the committee valued Tennessee when they just lost to Oklahoma, and they were almost out of the top 25. So I think that's a very, very key factor. If they lose, how far will they fall to be able to stay around that 12th spot, 13th spot, to be able to get in?
Well, Texas does have 2 top 10 wins, one of them over, at the time, a top 10 Oklahoma team, and we saw what the committee wanted to do with them, so Oklahoma just 1 spot at 12 behind them. So, OU, in or out?
So, wait a minute, hold on.
They still have to play Alabama, and there's another, is it LSU?
Missouri.
And
LSU, yes. Out.
So hold on now, wait a minute. If we're saying Texas is going to be out, and we say Oklahoma's going to be out, who's getting in for the SEC?
Georgia, Ole Miss.
That's 2.
Texas A&M.
3.
Texas A&M.
Bama.
That's 3.
No, we said 4, dude.
Yeah, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama,
Bama.
A&M.
That's
A&M.
4.
Yeah.
They're getting the 5th in.
No, they're not.
You don't think so?
Not if Oklahoma loses. Like if you think Oklahoma runs the table 10-2, then they're in. I don't think they're going to run the table.
To your point, I agree.
Now
but
they
you're
are
trying
similar.
to tell me.
So the one good thing they have for them is they do have a win over Michigan. And if Michigan is 10-2, like if Michigan knocks off Ohio State for the 5th time in a row, that would look better. So I still think. And I can hear all you SEC voices saying, well, 9-3 still gets in.
I think they're in if they lose to Alabama and still beat Missouri, because they just beat last week. Tennessee, which helped. It was a close loss to Texas. I think the SEC. I mean, the game was closer than what it was.
I was gonna say, how close was
when you
it?
watched the game was closer.
Mateer's 3 interceptions.
I think the SEC is going to get 5 in.
No,
honestly,
no chance.
I'm just saying. Okay, all right. The ACC gets 1.
Yeah.
The group of 5, and then the Big Ten 3.
4.
4, potentially.
4 could be a stretch.
Yeah.
It could be.
We could see 2 teams in the ACC potentially,
No,
like a
that ain't
Georgia
happening.
That won't happen.
That won't happen.
We thought that last year, though, and then Clemson came out of
It shouldn't
nowhere.
happen.
It ain't happening.
It shouldn't happen.
Who?
In or out? Georgia Tech. Who do you think?
Oh, I almost pushed it for in. I was like, in.
I think they win the ACC. I think
So they're in.
So
Okay.
I'll say in. Yes.
Danny, you agree?
Yeah, I think they're in.
Okay. The only ACC team, though.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Louisville.
No.
No. Is a one-loss
No.
team. So pull up
No.
Louisville's schedule. They
No.
don't play. So they could be 11-1, not playing the ACC title, and they beat Miami.
Yep.
Their only loss is a tight loss
To Virginia,
who's probably going to be
Undefeated in the ACC
who
right
could
now.
be in the ACC
Okay,
title.
okay.
11-1 Louisville is in.
So if Virginia plays
Also with a
Georgia
win
Tech
over
in this
Pitt, too.
hypothetical,
Yes.
Georgia Tech beat Virginia. You take Louisville, who lost to Virginia, and Virginia's not in the playoffs?
No, but they would have. Virginia, then my scenario would be in the ACC title game.
And if they lose,
yes, to Georgia Tech, then Louisville's in 11-1.
So that you take the team that lost to the team that didn't make the playoffs.
Or put them
How
both
can
in.
you
Then you got
justify that?
3 ACC.
No,
Let's
that
go.
means only one gets in.
Get out.
Only one gets in.
This is for Danny Cannell.
I know we feel pretty solid about some of the teams in the Big Ten, like in Indiana and Ohio State, maybe in Oregon. What about in Iowa or the Hawkeyes?
Today means something,
In or
Emily.
out?
Out.
You hit the buzzer.
That mean you in?
You got
know
to hit
they're
the
out.
buzzer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I said it verbally.
Okay, so
I think they get beat today.
everybody's hitting the buzzer, but you're holding your hand.
Because I picked Oregon to win earlier, but this makes for an upset opportunity.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
You haven't Byers.
It's all right.
Well, we will continue to break
They're
down the big game the Hawkeyes are involved in today because they are hosting the number 9 Oregon Ducks. That is what we're doing here, is getting you ready for kickoff 3:30 Eastern. It's big time on CBS. Let's talk a little Dante Moore when we return. Somebody who could potentially be selected in the first round of the NFL draft, but what can he handle today? We'll discuss. Stick with us here on HQ. Ooh, it looks gross there.
Hey, Noah.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates
That is a rookie mistake.
or the kindness of strangers. But you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, crutch, crutch. Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's tong skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Talking a little Dante Moore. Now, you might have forgotten about him after the Ducks lost to Indiana, but he's still one of the top arms in the game. 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, nearly 1,800 yards. A big reason why his Oregon Ducks are currently a top 10 team. A pretty good quarterback, I'd say pretty great quarterback maybe. Agrees? Here's Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be an ugly football game. I was going to make it ugly. It's going to be a defensive ball game, but Dante Moore might be my favorite quarterback to watch in college. So I'm going to take the Ducks and go in there and win an ugly one. I certainly hope this message got to Dante Moore. Maybe not before the game. You don't want to pump him up a little bit too much. But Ryan Wilson's mock draft currently has Dante Moore going 3rd overall to the New York Jets. QB3 in this draft class. So pretty good college quarterback, pretty good NFL prospect. Ryan Wilson is here to explain to us a little bit more about Dante Moore. What do you see on tape that helps you figure out, his NFL readiness? Because that's kind of been a topic of debate this year with this draft class in particular.
Hey, guys, good to see you. And yeah, so Dante Moore came on the scene. We knew about him a few years ago. UCLA transferred back to Oregon, sat behind Dylan Gabriel last year, and this year he was gangbusters. He's only 20 and a half years old, but he plays like he's been playing football at a high level for 3, 4, or 5 years. He can absolutely spin it. He's not a quote-unquote athletic quarterback, but he is athletic within the pocket. If you need him to run, he can do that. And one of the things that I look at, and Danny, I'll be interested to hear what you think about this, when you're trying to evaluate quarterbacks going from college to the next level, does he throw with anticipation? Check, check, and check. and then some. He does that consistently. He does it to all levels of the field, and he has a good deep ball. And here's the other thing that I come back to, and his offensive coordinator, Will Stein, talked about this. Will Stein played at Louisville with Teddy Bridgewater, and he compared Dante Moore to Teddy Bridgewater, both above the neck and in terms of the way he plays the game. And I've heard that Dante might consider coming back to school. If he doesn't, he's going to be one of the first 3 quarterbacks drafted, and he could very easily mix any one of those 3 in the conversation. Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and Dante Moore, determining who's going to be QB1 based on the team that decides to choose him.
I like him a lot. I wonder if there's any NFL trends that we've seen. I mean, Anthony Richardson comes to mind, who was such like uber talented prospect, but he only played 13 games at Florida. It's still a relatively small body of work overall because he's only been this season will be his only year starting. He did have those handful of games at UCLA before he got benched. I think he should come back. How do you think the evaluators look at quarterbacks now? Like, I would want to see at least 2 years starting experience being burned on some guys you only saw in a small body of work. Do you notice or hear anything from NFL scouts or general managers you talk to that they would prefer to see more on film?
No, that's a great point, Danny. And the thing I would distinguish between Anthony Richardson and Dante Moore is that Dante Moore is making NFL throws, number one. I think the closer comp to Anthony Richardson, fair or not, is Lenore Sellers. I've heard he is coming back and he actually may transfer to get into an offense that better fits what he wants to do. Because one thing Lenore does that the high-level quarterbacks or doesn't do that the high-level quarterbacks do consistently is throw with anticipation. He is a see-it, throw-it passer, Lenore says. In terms of the other question you asked about how important is it, sort of the Bill Parcells conversation, I want my quarterbacks to have 50 starts in college before they come to the next level. You can look at the research, and the research is very interesting because I've had this question as well, and I put it to people in the league. The research says experience doesn't necessarily matter. It's are you doing the things that NFL teams need you to do, and how quickly can you assimilate at the next level, whether it's information, whether it's the physical demands of being a quarterback. The other thing I'll point to, and you had to squint to see Bryce Young as the first overall pick in what at the time felt like an uncertain quarterback class. Dante's bigger. He's got a bigger arm. He's a better athlete, and Bryce is a pretty good athlete, and I think it makes all those things easier. Now, Bryce played a ton of football, as did Mac Jones, who preceded him, but I think the conversation when you talk to NFL teams, can they do what we want them to do? And you know, you guys know this as players. There are going to be coaches in the draft conversation that said, look, I can get the most out of this player, whether he's a safety, a cornerback, a running back, or a quarterback. So those are the other things you have to contend with as you go through the draft process.
So, Ryan, looking at this game, right, we're talking about the weather. We're talking about Dante Moore might not have the opportunity to just throw the ball all around the yard. In ugly, gritty defensive battles like this, what are NFL GMs, NFL owners, what are they looking for out of Dante Moore? Outside of just winning the football game, what are some traits and characteristics they're looking for from Dante tonight?
Yeah, Will Stein has talked about this as OC, about the above-the-neck stuff. The moxie is what Will called it, and the laser focus to be a good leader. That said, Damian, the other thing is a few weeks ago we saw Dante get banged up and come out of a game where weather was a real consideration. And then the question becomes, and he didn't look great prior to leaving that game, balled out against Penn State. The weather game was another conversation. And you start to have thoughts like, okay, is he going to be playing in a dome in New Orleans, for example, or this is going to be a New York Jets situation where the weather does turn bad in November and December, and those are all things you have to figure out. I remember, and you guys remember this as well, the Teddy Bridgewater Pro Day. The big issue was he going to wear gloves or not? Because he wore gloves during the season, went to his Pro Day, took his gloves off, and he looked like me throwing a football. So you got to figure out who you have and what they're good at and what they're not good at in the situation, whether it's things you can control, like the offense you run, or things you can't control, like the weather, and how this player fits in that system. Because the other thing that we see time and time again, and this year's been a great reminder, you can draft great players. If you draft in the bad teams, you're going to get OG Sam Darnold, OG Baker Mayfield. If you put them on the right team, you're going to get present-day Baker Mayfield, present-day Sam Darnold. So all that stuff matters, and I think now more than ever, teams understand that. It's the old-school way of football has changed from what we have today.
Very interesting. We'll see this afternoon if Moore has moxie. Ryan Wilson, you're swimming in moxie. What is happening right now?
We got points. We got points.
He wants some money.
Just say
you want some money. Just say you want some money, you degenerate.
Our guest here right now.
BYU? Yes.
I think our friend fans recognize what happened to this game.
We won.
There
Who did we get points on?
Oh my God.
Who did we get points on?
You can't count on accurate expiration dates
That is a rookie mistake.
or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it? A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Hey, college football fans, finish the season strong on FanDuel. Bet on everything from rivalry showdowns to late-night upsets all in one place. And right now, new FanDuel customers can get a $150 in bonus bets in if your first $5 bet wins. Time now for a little parlay pick. So for that, we go out to Mackenzie and Mikey. Hey, guys.
Hey, you know, while we're
Are we okay
sweating out that BYU team total right now, waiting for that review to come back in.
Sweating and confused, but go ahead.
Sweating and confused. Naturally, we're going to cook up a 4-leg parlay.
Naturally.
For the rest of the day.
Naturally.
10-1 plus 1,000. Just putting that one out there. Starting with 330, Kansas plus the 4.5 versus Arizona.
Thank you, ma'am. There's going to be 90 points in that game. Let's take Jalen Daniels to keep it close.
Speaking of keeping it close, Clemson money line versus FSU.
Boo. Producer Noah back there punching air.
Punching air. When we know we're in a different room than all the Florida State alum in this building, we know that we can take.
We had to
Clemson
come in here and
money line.
hide and go Clemson.
Whisper, sweet, sweet nothings. Clemson money line. Next, Florida money line versus Kentucky. That's a basketball
school. Yeah, just football versus basketball.
Yeah, it's basketball season. Get out of here. Next, Hawaii plus a 6.5. If you're not betting on the Rainbow Warriors when they're on the island, you're just losing money.
Late night island.
And then you wake up and you're up 10-1 now.
Yeah, certainly not staying up to see the end of that game. A reminder to scan this QR code, get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Ooh, it's getting rainy and nasty out in Iowa City. We are getting close to kickoff between Oregon and Iowa, just over half an hour. We'll get you ready to go on the other side. Stick with us here on CBS Sports HQ.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
These 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Welcome into college football pregame. They are getting ready out in Iowa City. You've got Oregon and Iowa, and boy, it's sure looking like some football, some Big Ten weather happening. Oh, we are so excited for this game on CBS, and I think, we would like to be there, but we're excited to not necessarily at this moment right now with Chris Hassel dealing with the elements right now. Last time we talked to you, you threw the umbrella, but you need it right now, right, Chris?
Yeah, I look a little bit different now than I did earlier, right? I put on gloves, I put on a scarf, which matches the CBS mic flag, and I've got the umbrella, but it's not for me. I was told by engineering that I must protect the microphone from the rain. That's why I have the umbrella, not because I'm soft.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. I need some clarification here because our own Danny Cannell said on the Cover 3 podcast this week, Danny, that you think there's a greater chance for an Oregon blowout than an Iowa win.
I did.
Chris Hassel, your thoughts?
I don't see it. I think this is going to be a tight game throughout. Look, I don't see an Iowa blowout either, but I would be really, really surprised if Oregon is able to run away in this game. Now, Danny, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He said that before a lot of the injury news came out earlier today, that Oregon is going to be without some of their stars on offense. They have some other stars that are going to try to play. This is not one of the days where if you're hurting, you're going to try to gut it out and feel good. Nothing is going to feel good today. The temperature is going to continue to drop. The wind is going to continue to pick up. And they are saying that we should expect snow in the second half, and that's going to completely change the game. I mean, You guys know, you former players know, it's totally different playing in the rain than playing in the snow. We might have two totally different games tonight between the first and second half.
Chris, I want to ask you, if this game, if it does turn into a snow game, I know we've already talked about the weather, who does it favor, but just particularly the snow, advantage Oregon, advantage Iowa.
It's got to be advantage Iowa. I mean, this is Iowa football weather. I know Oregon gets a lot of crappy weather. It's known to be cold and rainy up there. I'm not sure that they're as equipped as Iowa is to play this style of game this time of year. This is what Iowa does. Maybe this ends up looking like an old Big Ten West, sloppy, on the ground, last team standing wins. And if it gets into that kind of game, even though Oregon is tough in the trenches, my money is on the Iowa Hawkeyes.
There we go. Chris Hassel, appreciate you protecting the microphone. That is very important. But no, we love having Chris Hassel on here. Guys, I have some breaking news to get into. There's something happening in the Big Ten, and that is an upset is brewing in Happy Valley. Penn State taking the lead over Indiana from this Nick Singleton touchdown. He becomes the second Penn State player ever to score 50 total touchdowns. Now that is 51. He is just behind Saquon Barkley, who has scored 53. So how about those Penn State Nittany Lions? They currently lead the #2 team in the nation by just 4 points. Guys, what if this happens? Damian.
Well, if this happens, we're going to have a serious conversation about Indiana and about Fernando Mendoza. Because in the midst of this, yes, this is a close game. Fernando Mendoza has not played his best ball. And we're talking about we're in the point of the season where Heisman moments are created. If anything, right now, Mendoza has played himself out of the top echelon of Heisman favorites. But in totality, defensively, they've been exposed more so in the second half. Offensively, they haven't been able to find a rhythm. I don't know how much the loss of Elijah Surratt is playing in the minds of Indiana, but offensively, they're not clicking. And one thing that has been the consensus talking point around this Indiana team is when have they really, truly been tested? Not just by the team that they're playing and looking at it on paper and say, oh, okay, that's a true test right there. No, when have they been in a dogfight in the fourth quarter behind 4 with 5 minutes left and Fernando Mendoza, who just took a sack, has to lead a game-winning drive? They haven't been in that situation before. Now that they're in it, they look like a completely different football team. And that's the sign of a great team, or I should say that's the difference between a great team and just a good football team.
And during halftime, I talked about their defense, right? And you mentioned Penn State offensively, they've been exposed to almost every opposing defense they faced off against. And I said that's what Indiana should be doing. Well, in the second half, everything they did in the first half, they forgot about. Because now Penn State, they're running the football. Remember, in the first half, Penn State averaged 1.5 yards per carry. Currently sitting looking at the numbers, they're averaging over 4 yards per carry. They have over 100 yards on the ground. Singleton and the crew, they have really exploited the matchups in their favor. And Mendoza is now looking like this pressure is a bit too much for him because he doesn't seem to be as comfortable as we've seen in recent ball games. This is a gut check moment for Indiana. Not just Mendoza, but the entire team. Because for you to be the number 2 team in the country, to come in as clear-cut double-digit favorites, to be in a dogfight, this is unacceptable. And to your point, the month of November is really when the exposure happens in college football. Either you're thriving or you're surviving. Championship caliber teams, they thrive in these moments. Teams that are not quite there yet, they just survive in these moments. And right now, they're in a survival method based on where the game is, but there's still time left on the clock. But let's see how it plays out. But to Damian's point, if they happen to lose, now you have to have some serious conversations, not just about Indiana, but the Big Ten in totality.
But even if they do end up winning this football game, pulling it out, and staying undefeated, what are we learning about the Hoosiers? The fact that they're in a battle right now.
They're like every other team in the country.
Yep.
Like, I don't think the only thing that I think is really significantly impacting this game is Fernando Mendoza's Heisman chances. Like, that's the thing I think that's probably most devastating. If they lose, I still think they're fine for the college football playoff. If they win, I think it's a good test for them potentially to come back in the fourth quarter. So, like, the only thing that's really the biggest impact here, I think, is Fernando Mendoza's Heisman chances. Like, that's really the biggest issue, because I do think if you find a way to pull this win out, I think it's a good test for you. It's a tough environment to go in. I mean, we've had several teams that are in the playoff conversation that have been tested by Kentucky. Texas was in overtime. Ole Miss beat them by 1 possession at the late in the game. So, like, that's your sell. And if you lose the game, then all of a sudden it's your first loss, and it's not a good loss. But then I think you would point to Alabama and say, well, they lost to Florida State. So I don't think it's devastating. I just think it's one of those games that you look at. Miami lost to Louisville. Like, there's other teams in the mix that do have losses. I think you just have to kind of take it and say, all right, it's a chance for us to build, to get better, but I don't think it's devastating by any means.
The rebuttal I would have, Danny, to that statement is the timing of these losses.
Yes, but should that matter?
Yes. It matters. It matters mentality-wise.
Yeah,
for a
and I think for the eye test, it matters as well, because we're all prisoners of the moment. We remember the most recent thing. Like that Alabama loss to Florida State, it feels like it was last year, not this season. You know what I mean? So if Indiana happens to lose, I think when you look at their entire schedule, the strength of schedule hasn't been tough.
Never has.
Right?
Never
Outside
has.
of Oregon, who have they played? And they struggled against Iowa some weeks ago as well, a 5-point win.
Yeah,
So
and they just punted too. They were facing a 3rd and 16.
It was
they got to get
right
stop
here.
now.
In the words of Bryant McFadden, in situations like this, you are looking for hell or help. Indiana is begging for some help right now.
Yeah, they are.
They are begging. And if they end up losing this game, I'm sure they are begging for a win from Oregon in Iowa City because they have that head-to-head. So, yeah, you have to look at the Big Ten as well if Penn State ends up losing or winning this football game over Indiana. But we'll talk more about this big-time game on CBS.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
The kindness of strangers. But you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day 1.
This is your season.
בקיבוץ? בואי נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
Crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience of grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Go to to some college basketball. Number 15, Alabama. Number 5, St. John's, led by that man, Rick Pitino. These teams are playing for the first time since 1982, seeking a 13th straight win at MSG. It's a pretty fun place to play. Let's go to the mid-first half. Zuby Ejiofor blocking the alley-oop, so St. John's will head the other way. Oziah Sellers with the dunk. St. John's down 1. That was part of an 11-0 run for the Red Storm. 6 seconds to go in the first half. Bama up 6 here. Latrell Wrightsell Jr. burying the 3 at the buzzer. Bama up 9 at the half. So we go to the second half. Wrightsell, once again, he loves to pull up from deep, so why not? Shoot your shot. Bama up 11 here. That is a 9-0 run for the Crimson Tide. If we go mid-second half, St. John's down just 5 now. Sellers taking it coast to coast and laying it in, gets the and one. So the next possession here, Sadiku Ibn-Ayo feeds Josen Sannon, burying that corner 3 there. How about the Johnnies feeling good, up 1 now. First lead since the mid-first half. A few minutes later here, Phelan driving, laying it in. Game tied at 84 after a missed free throw here. Phelan just taking this game over. Alabama up 3, stops on a dime, pulls up, hits it. Bama up 5. Minute later, though, up 7, and Phelan once again step back from 3. The dagger, and Alabama would go on to win it 103-96. That's their first road win versus an AP top 5 opponent since 2022. I see that Alabama offense has not missed a beat since last season. 103-96, the final. Back here talking a little Oregon and Iowa. It's getting rainy, it's getting messy. Our Chris Hassel telling us that we could see some snow at some point in this game. It is Big Ten football, and it is coming up in 15 minutes on CBS. So as we continue to break down this game, we see 2 teams with very contrasting stat lines, right? We've got Oregon ranking 5th in points per game and Iowa ranking 4th in points allowed. Which unit do we think has the edge here, BMAC? Because we got great offense, great defense.
I'm always going to side with the defense, especially when the better defensive team, I mean, Oregon defensively, their numbers are really high level as well. But Iowa playing at home for their defense, it helps me take them, along with the conditions. Granted, Oregon, they're an outside team, meaning they play in an outside stadium, but I think these conditions suit Iowa more so than the road team in the Oregon Ducks. And there's something about these matchups where Iowa's defense, they just play up to their level. They outplay the competition. I gave the stat earlier. Since 2016, Iowa at home, they're 4-4 versus top 10 ranked teams. They are not afraid of these moments. Their defense is not afraid of these moments as well. So if I had to pick one or the other, I got to go with the team to the right, man. When you look at those numbers, man, that's amazing. That's high-level football.
13 points a game. Like, you're going to win a lot of football games if you're only giving up that much. But, Damian, 41 points.
That's a lot. That's a lot of points. And, I mean, this is your typical matchup of flash and dash versus blue collar. Oregon, they love to run it up. They love to make every game a track meet. Can you keep up with us? Can you run with us in a 100-meter dash? Well, here comes slow and steady wins the race, Mr. Iowa. They're methodical. They're, again, blue collar. And not to mention, Kirk Ferentz has won more games in the Big Ten than any other coach in Big Ten history. And a lot of that has been with the defense being the position group that you hang your hat on. So, again, going into this game, to BMAC's point, they're 4-4 in these types of matchups, and they know how to win these ball games. I think they'll be prepared for this Oregon team.
I love that you mentioned Kirk Ferentz because the last time these 2 teams played, he was on the coaching staff back in the late 80s, and I mentioned that the coach on the other side of things was 3 years old in Dan Lanning. But, Danny, this is a tough question. Who has the coaching edge in this game?
Ooh. I mean, I got to go with experience and Kirk Ferentz. And I know, so this will get Dan Lanning a little bit upset. But I always give coaches, but I do give coaches that do more with less, more credit. Like, I think that's the true test of a football coach is when you, like, Iowa's never had top 10 recruiting classes, and yet he's been a consistent winner in the Big Ten for his entire career there at Iowa. Like, that to me is one of the most impressive stats. He's one of the longest tenured and one of the winningest coaches in college football at the moment. And I don't want that to be a knock at Dan Lanning because he is both a great recruiter and a great coach. But I do think Kirk Ferentz does get the edge, especially playing at home in a game like this. You wonder how Dan Lanning fourth down decisions are going to be huge. He's usually aggressive. Kirk Ferentz probably from the old school mindset. That could come into play here today. So I give the edge to Kirk Ferentz because I think he's one of the better coaches in the entire country.
Yeah, with one more win this season, Iowa would clinch their 13th straight winning season. The Mike Tomlin of college football, B-Mac. What do we think about that staying power for Kirk Ferentz?
I mean, consistency, right? And to Danny's point, you know, doing more with less has been his calling card, and he's been comfortable being in those set positions where you see other coaches in college football complaining about some of the resources that these other universities have compared to what they do not have. Coach Ferentz does not complain. He goes out, put together a quality team, and they compete. And they're the wrong sparring partner to have because when you get in a match, you want to have a sparring partner. You want someone you know you can beat. When you play against Iowa, they can beat you, and they're not afraid to swing for the entirety of the match. So this is the most important game for Oregon, in my opinion. I know they have SC coming down the line, but in terms of their playoff hopes and seeing that they're ranked 9th, and based on the committee, this is the spot where you got to take care of your business because you don't have any room for error. One more loss will have them on the outside looking in the top 12.
I'll take it a step further as far as the coaching matchups inside the game. I know how you feel about Will Stein. I think he's one of the better offensive coordinators. Phil Parker, the defensive coordinator for Iowa. That, to me, is the chess match to watch. Two great offensive and defensive minds going against each other. It's a really, really fun matchup.
Yeah, we got to give some love to Dan Lanning. You mentioned just the sheer amount of wins for Kirk Ferentz, but when you talk about current active head coaches win percentage, nobody wins quite like Dan Lanning.
And Dan Lanning does such a phenomenal job at getting his guys motivated. I mean, consistently, they're opposite of Iowa. They've always got a top 5 recruiting class. They've got the jerseys, they've got the uniform, they've got the headquarters of Nike on campus. They have all the reasons to not be motivated. But Dan Lanning, he just makes it to where his players have to take ownership of the fact that they're there. They have to perform at their best. The expectation never falls. And in these games, whenever the moments mean the most, whenever college football playoffs, things like that are on the line, there is no better motivator in college football than Dan Lanning.
I feel like you can make the argument that both of these teams really take on the tone of their head coach. You talk about identities, no questions when it comes to Oregon and Iowa. When we look at this Iowa offense, though, you mentioned the game within the game on the other side of things, but how about Tim Lester? This is not your father's Iowa offense. I remember not too long ago we were tracking to see if they could score more than 25 points in a game. They've done that in every game but 2 this year.
Yes, they have, and it's a credit to Tim Lester, and it's also a credit to them in going out and get a quarterback like Mark Gronowski. And while I was big on Iowa this offseason. I thought they were going to be a dark horse team for the playoffs, and they still are, but it hasn't looked the way I thought. I thought he would add another dimension to the passing game, but really the biggest difference he's made is in the run game. The additional run game element there is where he is, and I do think the leadership that he provides. He's one of the older quarterbacks in the country. He's won multiple national championships at the FCS level, and they've just had so much inconsistency at the quarterback position. I think this is the best quarterback they've had in 10 years. I mean, the last 5 or 6, it's been bottom of the barrel quarterback. So I remember when I asked Kirk Ferentz about that at Big Ten Media Days, he was like, oh man, he's like, finally, I got somebody I can trust. And I do think that's, and especially in a game like today, ball security, all those types of things are going to come into such a big importance. I think it'll be huge.
Mark Gronowski is like the Haynes King of their offense.
Yeah, it's not like we're seeing him air it out.
His running style is slow, it's methodical, he leans on you, but he also can make plays in the passing game. To Danny's point, he's been one of the best quarterbacks we've seen associated with the Iowa Hawkeyes offensively in quite some time, and that's why they've been able to score to the level they've been scoring at. You talk about 20+ per ball game, and in this game, these conditions fit his style. He's going to lean on you. It's going to be a slow process. Dante and his offense going to be sitting on the sideline hoping to get that stop, their defense get a stop, but this is what he needs to do for them to be at their best, especially in this moment today against Oregon.
Speaking of offense, we're, of course, all keeping our eyes out for what's happening between Penn State and Indiana. And big situation here, 2nd and 10 from their own 47.
Chuck it.
Heisman Doza, what you got, Danny?
That's what the NFL scouts like right there. Is that?
Oh, is he
I don't
out?
know if it's going to be a catch or not. Oh,
season.
I mean, that type of cannon, though, vertical throws, 2-minute drill. This will be the tape that NFL scouts turn on. Even if they're down to the 10. We'll see if they can score and win this game. But those types of scores, these type of moments, these are what NFL evaluators are looking for.
Yeah, Damian, you wanted to see what they looked like in a situation where they were not winning a game late and coming back. Another clutch throw from Fernando Mendoza, and a fantastic
catch.
Yeah,
much better catch.
They're reviewing this right here.
Yeah. But I mean, again, when you talk about great teams, I like how the conversation ended, right? If Indiana does win this football game, we can give them a lot of credit. We can sit here and say, you played on the road. You played against a team who had absolutely nothing to lose. They fired their head coach. They're throwing everything at the wall and hoping it sticks. And guess what? With their best punch, they knocked us down. But guess what? They couldn't finish us for a full 15 rounds. We got up off the mat. Mendoza had his potential Heisman moment as far as orchestrating this 2-minute drive to win the game. This is what we want, and this is the mark of a great team. We talk about the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL at the beginning of the season. We had to give them credit for just winning football games. Yes, Saquon Barkley wasn't popping off. A.J. Brown wasn't popping off, but they won games. We give that same love to Indiana, but they have to pull the game out.
I would love to. So Kirk Cincinnati just went up to Fernando Mendoza, grabbed him by the hand. I wonder what he said. I would love to know. I mean, if the sideline reporter of this game doesn't go right up to him and say, what did you say to him before that drive?
Probably said it's first and goal.
Yeah.
Take your time. We don't have to get it all on one down. Take your time. And
don't
your
take
legs
a
are
sack.
still an option
And
also.
don't take a sack.
Yes.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza is cooking on this drive, 80 yards.
Your legs are
in
still
this
an
one.
option.
With a chance. I mean, they're first and goal right
Ball's
now.
on the 8-yard line.
B-Mac, do you go pressure or you play coverage right here?
Ooh.
I bring pressure.
Pressure them. And they did.
Okay, so
pressure,
incomplete.
pressure,
I bring pressure.
Second and goal. We're going to continue to keep an eye on what's happening with Indiana Penn State. Just 48 seconds left. Can the Hoosiers keep their perfect season alive? We're talking about it after the break. Stay with us. Of course, we are still counting you down to kick off in Iowa City. The number 9 Oregon Ducks are in town. College football playoff implications on the line.
Can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
זה בקיבוץ? בוא נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start.
What?
You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
He's 15 battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Inkmaster Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience of grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
We've got breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Penn State here with a game-winning touchdown. That is Omar Cooper Jr. We had to check to see if he got 1 foot in, guys. He got 2 feet in.
That's
Damien.
good on Sunday. That's good on Sundays, ladies and gentlemen.
They just need it today. Still 36 seconds left for Penn State to potentially cook, but Indiana could save their perfect season here. Yeah, he is very much in. You watch, he got some air in that one too.
The body control.
Danny, what do you think about that throw from Heisman Mendoza?
So that was an incredible throw. He was getting pressure. He knew he had it. It was the drive. I mean, because there were several big-time throws on the
100%.
drive, and he had been under duress. He had taken so many hits. This, to me, and I know the game wasn't a Heisman game, but we look for Heisman moments.
That's it.
Man, I think that's his Heisman moment. Ty Simpson's had several of them. Julian Sain hasn't really yet. And it's kind of one of those byproducts that really doesn't make a ton of sense because you didn't play great all day, but they want to see you step up in that moment. What a drive.
And you want to see him make the guys around him better. He's doing this without his lead wide receiver in Elijah Surratt. But, we're getting close to kickoff in Iowa City. We're going to give you our final thoughts and pick this game. 5.5-point spread. The Oregon Ducks are favored. But what does Damian Harris think is going to happen? What do you got?
I like the Ducks. In all kind of weather, the Ducks stick together. Ducks roll tonight.
B-Mac, who are you picking?
I stumped you with that
one. That was a good line, but I'm still amazed about the feet work by Cooper, that touchdown catch.
But this is this game.
This game, give me Oregon. Give me Oregon. I'm not quite sure about that spread. I think it will be a close game, but in terms of just outright winning, they have the more talent on either side of the football field, even though Iowa has the better defense, and Dan Lannon.
Earlier I said Oregon 15-13. I think Oregon wins 23-6. Lower scoring. I do think Oregon wins comfortably.
Okay, a nice little
running the football.
Game control for the Oregon Ducks and the Iowa Hawkeyes. We are getting so close to kickoff. You can watch that game over on CBS. Damian Harris is ready to go watch that game kickoff right now on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Wow.
That's what our friend Nate Burth.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
זה בקיבוץ? בוא נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it? Can you handle it? The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch. We got a lot of experience of grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Let's get you some headlines on HQ. ESPN reporting that President Donald Trump wants the Washington Commanders to name their new $3.7 billion stadium after him. That stadium has yet to break ground, but is expected to be open by 2030. Our NFL insider Jonathan Jones says the Commanders have declined to comment on the story. The president will be attending the Commanders game Sunday in Maryland against the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, Mac Jones will make his 6th straight start on Sunday when the Niners host the Rams. Brock Purdy is still dealing with a toe injury, listed as questionable, and on track to miss his 8th game of the season. Jones is a 5-2 as San Francisco's starting QB this season, 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Vikings running back Aaron Jones Sr. is expected to play on Sunday against the Ravens, despite dealing with a toe and a shoulder injury. That's according to ESPN. He was injured during last week's win against the Lions and was limited at practice this week, but is expected to give it a go. The Vikings enter Sunday in last place in the NFC North at 4-4. In the NBA, Clippers star Kawhi Leonard has been ruled out for tonight's game against the Suns. He'll miss a 3rd straight contest with a sprained right ankle. LA has gone 0-2 in both games without him this season. Tip-off for Suns Clips is set for 10:30 Eastern from Los Angeles.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
בקיבוץ? בואי נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
UFC on Paramount Plus, streaming this January.
זה בקיבוץ? בואי נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus. Every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
Paris Saint-Germain have won the Champions League. It's a really special moment.
Step inside the frame and feel every match, every goal,
Truly remarkable.
every moment of the world's best soccer.
Shakespearean drama, that's all you can see.
The UEFA Champions League. Every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman. New season. Streaming November 16th. Only on Paramount Plus.
This could be the greatest opportunity in my life, and it comes with danger.
Well, I bet ain't nobody seen that coming.
Tulsa King. New season. Now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Tommy, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story. And every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
Paris Saint-Germain have won the Champions League. It's a really special moment.
Step inside the frame and feel every match, every goal,
Truly remarkable.
every moment of the world's best soccer.
Shakespearean drama, that's all you can see.
The UEFA Champions League. Every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Let's go save the universe.
Now that's more like it.
Are you ready to laugh
Nailed it.
till you turn blue?
Oh, no.
That got weird. Smurfs. Rated PG. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
What a finish in the Big Ten between number 2 Indiana and Penn State. Down by 4, Fernando Mendoza to Omar Cooper Jr. That would have been a touchdown in the NFL. 7 yards out. Extra point made it 27-24 Hoosiers. But the Nittany Lions would have one last chance again. Right foot, left foot, good. 5 ticks left to go from midfield. Ethan Grunkenmeyer has to heave it. Trying to look for Kyron Hudson, but broken up by Amari Farrell. And number 2 Indiana goes to 10-0 and beats Penn State at their place by 3. This was a game in which Indiana was favored by 2 touchdowns and a hook. Some money on Penn State went under that 2-touchdown number, but the over of 50.5 also cashing ever so slightly in this one. Welcome to college football post game. What a finish. Had me mouthful of marbles there. I'm Tommy Tran, Damian Harris, Brian McFadden, and Danny Cannell. Guys, you were all watching the ending of this game. B-Mac, I'm going to give you first word. What stood out to you about this electric finish between these two?
Just the finish for Indiana. In the second half, their defense couldn't get any stops. The running game was clicking for Penn State, and they found a way to not just get back into this ball game, but take the lead. And then, Danny talked about Mendoza needing that Heisman-like moment. Well, it surfaced late in the fourth quarter because they were down, 4 points. They needed a touchdown to win, no timeouts, and he had his best drive in the more critical moments of that ball game. Charlie Becker had a great day filling in when you look at the losing their top wide receiver, and the job that Omar Cooper Jr. did in that game-winning touchdown catch. Not just one foot, but the other as well. He was in on Saturday, also in on Sunday. This was a huge win, and this is what we like to see in college football in terms of adverse situations. For Indiana, they've been fairly comfortable in these moments. Their back was finally against the wall. We wanted to see exactly how they would answer, and guess what? They answered with a much-needed win.
Danny?
10 plays, 73 yards, and 1:15 to win the game. Like, that was Fernando Mendoza's signature moment as an Indiana Hoosier quarterback, and it couldn't have come at a better time for him. And he's done this before at Cal. He's been in these situations, but there's nothing to win over your teammates in a locker room than going out and do this. And I do think this was not a good game for Indiana. They did not have their best stuff. Their defense struggled to get off the field. Fernando Mendoza was getting pressured all afternoon. But this is a good battle test for them, and they stepped up and answered it and passed that test with flying colors, because at some point in the season you're going to face a drive like that and a situation like that. And I look around some teams, and that's one thing I've wondered about Ohio State. Will they ever have to face that, or could it be in a Big Ten championship or in a playoff game where all of a sudden all right, that's your first time. Now Indiana's been there, and that experience, I think, will help them moving forward as they go through what they want to do, which is ultimately win a national championship.
Tommy, you want to know what I love about college football right now?
What is
and
that?
A lot of people talk about parity, right? You want to hear some parity. I'm not going to say we. I'm not going to speak French. I'm not going to speak for you guys. I was sitting at the edge of my seat ready to go in on Indiana and talk about they're not actually a good team. The one time they get tested, they fall to it. They didn't play their best game against a team who has absolutely zero direction, just fired their head coach, have not been playing well. But now here I am at the edge of my seat still ready to say this Indiana football team, they're good. For the first time all year long, they were tested. Now, everything I just said about Penn State and the fact that they fired their coach and they haven't won a lot of games, throw that out the window. Indiana was in a dogfight in the fourth quarter where they had to have a touchdown to win the football game. Like Danny said, 1:15 left, and guess what? Fernando Mendoza, he did what he was supposed to do. Guess what? The receivers, they did what they were supposed to do. The offensive line that allowed Fernando Mendoza to get pressured for most of the game, they held up and protected. So that's what we talk about when we measure great football teams. This is the metric. This is the piece that you can't necessarily put on paper. When you're tested, when you're put in a hostile environment, when a team is giving you everything that they got, when they're playing with house money, Tommy Tran, they got nothing to lose, and they punch you in the mouth over and over. And in the second half, they punch you in the mouth more and harder and harder. But they just don't keep you from getting up off the mat, and that's what Indiana did tonight. And I will echo Danny's point. The way that they won, the way that they had to come from behind, the way that Fernando Mendoza had to orchestrate that 2-minute drive at the end of the game, that will serve them tremendously towards the end of the season, going to the Big Ten championship, hopefully, getting to the college football playoffs. The lessons that Curt Cignetti and this team learned today, they will absolutely capitalize on it moving forward.
Another, one of my favorite parts of the drive, the first play of the drive, he was sacked for a 7-yard loss. They had 2nd and 17. It looked like, oh boy, here we go. 22-yard completion.
Seam route.
Staring in the face of adversity.
And the play right before the Cooper touchdown, he got hit, and then it almost was floating out there. Potentially could have been a game ender. To your point, it's interesting because the margins are razor thin. We have an entire research team going, if Penn State wins, when they were ready to go, what was going to happen to Indiana, all the conversations. Guys, do we have that Mendoza graphic with the first 9 drives versus the final drive once again there against Penn State? Again, first 9 drives, you see the splits. Final drive, 5 for 8, 87 passing yards, and that passing efficiency. By the way, Fernando Mendoza, now the betting favorite for the Heisman, plus 150. Julian Sandwich, Ohio State is playing right now, plus 230. Ty Simpson will have a chance to answer. He's third with shortest odds at plus 470. Danny, if I were to give you a free bet for the Heisman right now, where would your money go?
Can I take it on the winner of the Big Ten championship game? Because that's what I said before the game.
So it's almost a say in Mendoza and then the field.
But I think Ty Simpson is there, but I think a lot of times you can't win the Heisman right now. You can lose it, though. Like, if Fernando Mendoza doesn't have that drive, he's out. And I do think he has a clearer path to get there. Sayin only has the Michigan game, really, and they're probably going to be a 7 or at least a touchdown favorite in that one, while Ty Simpson still has a couple tough tests. But that could be a blessing and a curse. But I'm going to go with the short things of the guys that get there smoothly. And then the Big Ten title game, I think it'll be a huge opportunity. Whoever wins that game and outshines, I think takes home the Heisman.
Let me ask you this, because we're talking about recency bias. We're talking about the Heisman. Fernando Mendoza in particular. He did not play his best game, but you even talked about Heisman voters, NFL scouts, GMs. They turn on the tape and they want to see what Fernando Mendoza did on that last 2-minute drive. Now I'm asking you, Danny. This isn't a loaded question. I genuinely want your opinion. Does the performance by Fernando Mendoza and what he did on the last drive of the game, would that supersede let's say a cleaner game from start to finish? Let's say 320 yards, 2 touchdowns for Ty Simpson against an LSU. Which, by the end of the night, with those 2 nights from those 2 quarterbacks, who do you push as the Heisman favorite?
You asked me, but B-Mac's over here shaking his head like, no, I think it does. I think they want to see those pressure-packed opportunities rather than a blowout game where you're just padding your stats. They want to see crunch time moments, and those resonate with voters.
Go ahead, B-Mac. Well,
Ty Simpson has had those type of moments.
He has.
He has. Multiple times.
And he's going to have more chances.
Yeah, and that's why I like Ty Simpson or Julian saying, even though
Mendoza is the favorite based on what just happened. At the end of the day, I like Ty Simpson. I like Julian saying because of their schedule the rest of the way. They will play ranked teams before they get to their conference championship game. When you look at Indiana, the remainder of their schedule is pretty much the bottom dwellers of the Big Ten. That hurts in terms of winning the Heisman and knowing how important November football is. Now the Big Ten championship game will be major. But if you're Julian saying in that final game against Michigan, who will be ranked for seeing anything crazy happening, and he has a great game against that team, against that defense, in that rivalry, he goes into the Big Ten championship game with more Heisman leverage than a Mendoza, where his last ranked opponent was weeks ago.
But that's where I think Mendoza he has to win that game then. Like that's where that's the winner of the Big Ten championship.
And then also too for Mendoza, the same thing he will be fighting against with Julian Sain, who will be fighting against Ty Simpson as well. Because Ty Simpson can have the same argument that Julian Sain has before he gets to the SEC championship game. He's seen ranked teams.
4 of them.
One interesting thing too is Indiana's 10-0. So he only has 2 more games left. Sain and Simpson have 3 more games.
I mean, they got Wisconsin and Purdue.
So basically,
they got Wisconsin and Purdue.
So basically, what we're saying in totality is this had to be Fernando Mendoza's Heisman moment. Because based on the competition the rest of the way, regardless of how well he performs, we're not going to look at those as Heisman-type moments.
Against Wisconsin and Purdue, if he puts up 4 touchdowns in each one of those ball games, you're like,
But then I would ask the same exact question that I started with, Tommy Tran. If this would, now let's just say, let's take Julian Sain and Ty Simpson out of the conversation right now. If it's just Fernando Mendoza and this was his Heisman moment, is that still enough? Like 1 2-minute drive at the end of the game when you played like crap. Right. The first. Mindful of my words, Tommy Tran. But again, is that really enough though for a Heisman type moment?
No,
again, against a Penn State.
But that's why I think the winner of the Big Ten champion, if he beats Ohio State, that's the one that they'll be looking for. And Ty Simpson will be like. This was a 2-touchdown point spread. That's exactly what it is for Alabama LSU tonight. So, we could see a Heisman moment from Ty Simpson. We think it'll be a stat padding game, but that's what we thought we were going to get from Fernando. You just never know. That's why we love this sport.
Well, that's the thing. This Heisman odds in general, it's like a Peloton stock market. It's like when you get it, well, you get it. From the moment, Mendoza's there, but there's opportunities, as we've just talked about. Mendoza's not going to have as many opportunities until a championship game opportunity as much as Ty Simpson will have in the regular season. And you just start stacking up them chips, You start stacking up the Ty Simpson against Georgia. You get more chips, and right now Mendoza's trying to stack up those chips. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, Indiana survives that game against Penn State as 2-touchdown favorites, and they end up winning by 3 to maintain that perfect season after this college football Saturday. Again, there's that look for Fernando Mendoza. Didn't look good for about 3.5 quarters, but he comes up big for IU, which trailed by 4 with less than 2 minutes left to go to take the lead and ultimately win the game.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
No, that is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day 1.
This is your season.
בקיבוץ? בואי נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount+.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown new season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Let's get you some headlines on HQ. ESPN reporting that President Donald Trump wants the Washington Commanders to name their new $3.7 billion stadium after him. That stadium has yet to break ground, but is expected to be open by 2030. Our NFL insider Jonathan Jones says the Commanders have declined to comment on the story. The president will be attending the Commanders game Sunday in Maryland against the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, Mac Jones will make his 6th straight start on Sunday when the Niners host the Rams. Brock Purdy is still dealing with a toe injury listed as questionable and on track to miss his 8th game of the season. Jones is a 5-2 as San Francisco's starting QB this season, 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Vikings running back Aaron Jones Sr. is expected to play on Sunday against the Ravens, despite dealing with a toe and a shoulder injury. That's according to ESPN. He was injured during last week's win against the Lions and was limited at practice this week, but is expected to give it a go. The Vikings enter Sunday in last place in the NFC North at 4-4. In the NBA, Clippers star Kawhi Leonard has been ruled out for tonight's game against the Suns. He'll miss a 3rd straight contest with a sprained right ankle. LA has gone 0-2 in both games without him this season. Tip-off for Suns Clips is set for 10:30 Eastern from Los Angeles.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season.
בקיבוץ? בואי נלך הביתה.
Red Alert, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna start. What? You're going to die tonight.
What are you talking about?
Unless you give it what it wants.
I want to play.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Ink Master Hometown Heroes, new season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
My name is Francois Crutchfield, but everybody calls me Crutch.
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, we got a lot of experience with grown kids that's never ready to leave the nest. You need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You can't count on Derek's tong skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Everything South Park is streaming on Paramount Plus.
All right, everyone, listen up.
Every character, every story, every season.
That sounds like so much fun!
Everything South Park, all seasons, new episodes, and more. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This could be the greatest opportunity of my life, and it comes with danger.
Well, I bet ain't nobody seen that coming.
Tulsa King, new season, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle. Care of you.
This is my castle now.
What you expect in return? Partnership.
Mayor of Kingstown, new season, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story. And every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
Paris Saint-Germain have won the Champions League. It's a really special moment.
Step inside the frame and feel every match, every goal,
Truly remarkable.
every moment of the world's best soccer.
Shakespearean drama, that's all you can say.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Number 2, Indiana, 2 touchdown favorites at Penn State, but this one had us on upset alert for Kirk Cignetti and his perfect Hoosiers. It's picked things up in the 4th in a 10-point game. Nicholas Singleton finding a hole and taking off. Down inside the 3 after a 59-yard gain, setting this up 3 plays later. Singleton again. Penn State now trailing by 3. Second touchdown of the day would not be his last. Ensuing Indiana drive from their own 27, Fernando Mendoza looking, survey, fires, but it's intercepted by King Mack. 3rd straight game with the pick for the Heisman candidate. Ensuing drive, Ethan Grunkenmeyer going to find Singleton, who breaks a tackle down the sideline, in for a 19-yard touchdown, his 3rd of the day. 17 unanswered points for the Nittany Lions. Singleton, the first Penn State player with 2 or more rushing yards and 1 receiving touchdown in a game since Saquon Barkley touchdowns in both departments. All right, so here's Fernando Mendoza down by 4. Less than a minute left to go. Charlie Becker leaping. 17-yard gain inside the 10. Career-high 7 catches for 118 for Becker. 3 plays later, Omar Cooper Jr. worth many more looks. Right foot, left foot. That would have been good in the NFL. Indiana now leads by 3, but there's still time in this game. It would come down to a Hail Mary at the end for Grunkenmeyer. Midfield under pressure, has a chance to step into it, looking for Kyron Hudson. Broken up, and that is it. Perfect season continues for IU as they don't cover, but they win. Cignetti, 3rd coach in the last 50 years to start 10-0 in each of his first 2 seasons at any FBS school. He joins Larry Coker and Urban Meyer in that department. 27-24 again is your final. Over 48.5 cashes. And for Penn State, 6th straight loss after starting the season 3-0. Big matchup in the Big 12. Top 10 matchup in Lubbock. Number 7 BYU, number 8 Texas Tech. And look who's in the building. Patrick Mahomes, looking at his alma mater. BYU seeking 11 straight season, a straight win dating back to last season, that is, but they would come in nearly 2-touchdown underdogs to the Red Raiders. Baron Morton here to Caleb Douglas, putting Texas Tech up 10. Great awareness to get that foot in there. Mahomes certainly likes that. BYU scored 10 or more points in every half this season, but that was not the case here. Kept off the board due to some miscues, a missed field goal. Cougars held scoreless in the first half for the first time in 2 years. And once again, Patrick Mahomes loving it on his bye week. Can the Cougars get the offensive going in the second half? Mid-third, down 16-0 now. Bear Bachmeier under pressure, looking for his guy Roberts, but picked off by Jacob Rodriguez. Taken down to the BYU 22. Rodriguez's third interception of the season. It would lead to a field goal. There's wifey. Early fourth, Texas Tech driving. Morton looking for Cameron Dickey. Working his way down the sideline. Pushed out of bounds at the BYU 30. A few plays later, handing it off to Dickey. And it's 29-7 is your final. First win versus an AP top team for Texas Tech since 2012. Best 10-game start at 9-1 since 2008. And for BYU, the loss snaps a 10-game win streak. Dickey, by the way, his second career 100-yard game. And the under never in doubt in this one, cashes at 50 and a hook. Hey there, folks. I'm Tommy Tran with Damian Harris, Brian McFadden, and Danny Cannell to break down this top 10 matchup that went the way of the hometown team. Dame, I'm going to give you first word. What stood out to you in terms of your pregame thoughts of how you think this game would have been played out and how it actually played out today?
Well, it was all about the defense, and we came into this game talking about Texas Tech's defense. BYU, Bear Bachmeier, they hadn't played a defense that was this good. They hadn't played a defense to where so much capital was invested into the players that were on that defensive front, especially for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and they just eliminated Bear Bachmeier from the game. Everything that he's done well up until this point, they eliminated him from being able to do that. I mean, he was 23 for 38, 188 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. Those are okay numbers for a freshman quarterback, but for Bear Bachmeier, who has set the standard up here for the way that he's played, the fact that Texas Tech was able to limit that, that was the story of the game. Because offensively, Texas Tech didn't do much. They didn't do anything to really step on the throat of BYU, but it was the defense that was just the one constant. BYU could never get anything going on offense.
Yeah, when you look at the line, right, Vegas kind of told the story before the story was in play. The line was set at 10, and we saw line movement right before kickoff increase to 13. So they were already kind of insinuating that they felt like Texas Tech would be the better team for 4 quarters. And Texas Tech showed the odd makers out in Vegas to be true. And it was all about their defense, to Damian's point, because Baron Morton, and he just didn't have a real efficient day. They ran the football well, but it seemed like he was a bit off in terms of his passing. But the defense stood up. They delivered. They made life miserable for Bear and the entire offense. You look at their ability, Texas Tech, to rush the passer has been felt. They have the lead sack getter in college football on their team, not to mention the lead forced fumble getter as well in Jacob Rodriguez. Both players had huge say-sos in the success for Texas Tech. So they have a championship-level defense, Danny. It showed today. But moving forward, for them to get to the level they would like to get to, they need to get more from their offense.
I thought, coming into this game, the thing that was so impressive about BYU and their undefeated streak was their composure. Remember, we talked about that in the pregame show. Bear Bachmeier looked so composed, more mature than a true freshman. He looked like a true freshman tonight, and so did all of BYU. I mean, the mistakes they made in the special teams, mishandling a punt, missing a kick, and that's a credit to Texas Tech because they took them out of their game, and Lubbock was rocking. The home crowd was absolutely awesome, and it's a credit to Texas Tech's defense because they were the ones that were forcing some of those turnovers and did have Bear Bachmeier rattled throughout the game. Jacob Rodriguez is one of the best football players in the country, and he was out there, making his case for the Heisman Trophy. It's a long shot, but I think he definitely needs to get his story out there. But we also talked about the defense for Texas Tech. That was a big point of investment, how much money they had spent on the defensive line. That investment paid off dividends today.
Okay, so let me just collectively surmise what you guys are saying. Elite defense, offense still needs work if they're going to be in terms of a national champion contender. Am I right? Does that seem like it's fair to you guys?
Absolutely. And I would say not just offensively, but especially at the quarterback position. Baron Morton, he needs to play better. I mean, offensively, when you talk about complementary football, you can't hang your hat on the defense and say, just go win us the football game. They can obviously make plays that impact the game, but offense has got to pull their weight, and it starts with Baron Morton. Did not have his best day today. He can play better. If he plays better, if this offense picks up around him, you match that with the defense that they've got, and they're right up there with anybody else in the country.
So with that being said, it's interesting because I have a graphic here of the odds to win the national championship, and it might surprise you guys to see where Texas Tech is at 18-1. Interestingly enough, guys, would any of you take Texas Tech over Notre Dame, Georgia, Oregon, or Ole Miss to win the national championship? Because it seems like the respect that they're getting, or lack thereof, is because of said offense/quarterback.
I would take them over Notre Dame.
Agreed.
I would.
I think Notre Dame should probably have the same odds as Texas Tech. Like, I think it's more of overvalue.
They're a popular
of Notre
team,
Dame.
though, so maybe that's why they're getting, and not necessarily reflection of the team.
But every other
itself.
team, I would look at those and say, you know what, they've had an offense, or a more complete team, but even more specifically an offense which has shown an ability to take over if the defense struggles. I don't know if I've seen that from Texas Tech yet. And their defense is really good. They might not need it. Maybe they can win with great defense and okay quarterback play. But I think at some point they're going to need Baron Morton to step up. And he's been banged up. Like he, you know, it'd be helpful if he could get healthy. But it's hard to get healthy when you're playing games.
And it was nice to have Will Ham in the backup, but he's also hurt and not going to be available the rest of the way. Quickly, last thing, Danny, when you are offensively challenged, maybe perhaps at Texas Tech, is there anything you can do now in the short term to help fix that between now and the end of the season?
Run the football. I mean, that's how we're talking about Baron Morton's struggles. They still ran the ball fairly effectively today. That to me is what they're going to have to do, because think about it. When you're a defensive, that's your mentality. That's your reputation. That's what you're living off of. You run the football with success. Your defense gets stops. You're able to control the time of possession. You're able to keep it away from the other team. So I think the more they can run the football, the better off Texas Tech will be.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see Tuesday's ranking release and see where Texas Tech maybe gets elevated, how far BYU falls. And, of course, there's a big potential outcome of having these two teams face each other in the title game once again. But here's a look at BYU past 6 road games versus AP-ranked teams. 0-for-6, and you see that point differential. They have not defeated an AP-ranked team on the road since 2020. And we'll talk about the fallout from this game and what the college football playoff projections will be like. Mackenzie Brooks standing by. Will be breaking it down next on HQ.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season.